Today, living for these
Hey guys, so welcome back to another Pillow Talk with
House of Ori.
So I'm Lee Rose.
I'm Koji, Dem.
And I'm a fake Benny.
So this isn't the regular Pillow Talk where we're like bubbly and kicking it and and every Pillow Talk I can say so. Just for those who don't know, we use Pillow Talk as a platform to talk about issues that are hardly spoken about in our context, i.e. diaspora, mostly, so we're based in Jamaica. So we took a week of silence just to kind of just watch the movement that's been going on. So if you're very sensitive about the Black Lives Matter movement, maybe don't watch this.
To the left.
To the left. But I feel like we're going to watch it, right? I feel like we're not supposed to there. So there are a couple of things. So we just saw 2 marches. So obviously the ripple effect of Black Lives Matter movement, because the violence against our brothers and sisters have just been through the roof consistently for centuries, right? It's not new. And especially here. So we just wanted to talk about the context of which it exists in the Caribbean, i.e. Jamaica, at this precise moment, because we've seen it over 50 states in America, we've seen it rippling across Europe, rippling across the UK, and then everybody else, and by virtue, so now we're in the Caribbean basin and it's just like rippling, right? And it's the time, like we've been under this.
And we're not really focusing on the points that need to be discussed that's happening in the Caribbean right now. So we, as a collective, we are going to share our views on what's actually happening here, because it's not racism, it's more than that.
Right. So as we're gonna kick it off, there are just some main points that we want to actually just start it off with. So that is, equality isn't the same as equity. That's a number 1. So the patriarchal system made us non-equal, i.e. men versus women. The religion made us non-equal, i.e. LGBTQIA community, of which we represent, right? Slavery made us non-equals, i.e. colorism. So if you don't know when none of them treat something they mean, Google it, but we're also gonna kind of talk about it, right? So we came up with some stuff, right? Sexualism, not sexism. Sexism is different, right? Sexualism, genderism, racism versus colorism. Well, not versus, because they're in the same book, really. So just contextualizing it, right? In our island here. So
Yes. Black on black crimes. We, black people, need to take in account for our own actions placed on our own people. Why do we continue to feed into the narrative of abusing our people to gain power within ourselves? That has me like all over the place. It's like we feel a way when we are marginalized by white folk, but then we marginalize our own people, and it's just like, when are we going to like interrupt ourselves and ask ourselves, okay, what am I doing to my people to cause my people to do the same thing to me? I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but like, it's like
the PTSD, the PTSS.
Yeah, post-traumatic slavery disorder, right?
Or
Syndrome. Yeah, it's just like, when will we stop? Like even with the Ayana Dior case, literally people were at the protests protesting against Black Lives Matter, and then in the same day that they're protesting against Black Lives Matter, we are here
that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, we're here in a shop, black folks, a mob of black folks abusing a transgender female because they are being who they would love to be. And it's just like, why are we contradicting ourselves? Like what, like I ask myself, like, are you just going to the protest just to go to the protest, or are you going to the protest to actually stand for something, and not just stand for something where you're standing for just straight folks, but are you standing for something straight black folks, but are you actually standing for something where you're standing for all your people, even if some black folks are gender non-conformative, like.
Yeah, it's the cognitive dissonance, right? And that's what we're seeing that is being borrowed and carried here. So I'm not going to condemn the June 6th on Saturday, the march, or both marches that happened, which was very interesting. Because at one, you know, you have a whole group of Rastas coming out of the woodwork. Well, I fucking love Rastas, right? To some degree. Because people are people. Because you can love a movement, but then people are people within the movement, right? So whether or not some of them homophobic or transphobic or whatever the phobia is, because I don't see it as phobia, I just think you're intolerant. So for me, it's more so saying, would I have been comfortable being there in that space where me no say on a regular, my black life don't matter, right? Because you're going to see me on the road and you're going to want to beat me. And I think that is something that is important for us to also call our families' names. Like, don't be out there talking about fucking Floyd when you're not going to talk about Brianna, right? You're not going to talk about Brianna.
Since March 13th, 2020.
Right?
2020.
But yeah, and so these are the three things I really like to highlight. And it's just so important for us to recognize. So religion kind of tear we up in the Caribbean. And I think we don't talk about the feminist movement here in the Caribbean and how they've been we've sat on their backs of activism, right? The reason why we can go out there, the reason why we can exist, the reason why we can be and look like this and try to live our lives in freedom is for people who've gone before us, which are the feminists. It's the feminist movement, right? For women who stood up for us as the LGBTQIA community. And it's just like, yeah, they also have been standing up for men, for Black Caribbean men. Right? So it is so important for us to just acknowledge the movement and the activism that needs to be spoken about to break down the fuckeries that have. Sorry, but you know, it's
the word.
it's the word. It's a sensitive thing. It's a sensitive fucking topic. Like there's so much that we really want to bounce into, right? And there's something that we also spoke about, and we spoke about the case of Dwayne Jones, right? Like, we're probably calling all of these names. Go and Google them, please, because in 2030, some fucker went down, man. Like, it's serious.
A transgender female minding their own business, going to a party, having fun with their friends, and a mob of people decided to abuse this young woman. Why? Like, what did that woman do to you? Why couldn't you just continue to party and mind your own business the same how they were minding their own business? And then on top of that, people in society want to rationalize the whole murder case by saying, it was trans panic defense, so therefore it was a trans panic defense, so therefore my actions are justified. Because this person is transgender. No, this person is human, and that does not give you the right to abuse this person. And a matter of fact, this person is a child, under the age of 18.
Yeah, and just the other day, like, gunshots fire, right? Road block, everything are gone, and Susan Bogle drop out, like, murdered. As far as I'm fucking concerned, I'm just saying, like, that's something that we also need to talk about. But she's a woman, right? She's a Black Caribbean woman. She not important. Like, what is the government, or what has the government done here? So I'm just like, yeah, I see that there are people out there. I'm not gonna talk for everybody. I'm just talking for myself. There are people out there that is bringing that Black Lives Matter movement in awareness and, you know, in alignment to use it, understanding that it's a movement that is rippling. It doesn't mean that we don't speak about Floyd here, and we don't speak about Brianna, we don't speak, you know, like, there are layers and layers of names that we could call and standing outside of the US Embassy. I'm just like, why we never stand up outside at downtown in the federal, where place name municipal, down there, so in a, like, which part the main office, head office, or the police officers department them there. Why we never go all of them other place there, right? Because I'm just like, Black Lives Matter is not just a movement that is stepped and steeped in America, right? We are also facing the ripple effects of that Black Lives Matter, and also Black in the context of the Caribbean, which is colorism, the layers of Blackness. There are layers, right? Could you have more privilege than me and Afe, and could you know it? Could you them know that, right? Them know it. The whole away. So even the shade, like that, just to understand how, yeah, we are coming together and we understand that privilege and the access that are given to people lighter than us, and seeing how that we are treated differently. The darker you are in the Caribbean, you are treated fucking differently from somebody who's mixed race and lighter than you. Do you know what I mean? And obviously you're mixed with something, or you're red skin from St. Elizabeth or wherever you want to come from, right? So yeah, like these are just some of the things that we've been literally mulling over, and then we're just like, how can we really take a stand in Jamaica, like within this context, and the context that is I guess exists in different Caribbean islands. And for us, we're like, yo, it's addressing that PTSS. Fucking addressing it, understanding that you need to address religion, right? Because low-key, the same thing I talk about, like as I said, it's nothing against Rastas, but we know the systematic issues that we've had with Rasta men in this country, and when it comes to the LGBTQIA community, right? And some of the preachings and teachings with them get off. And on top, so religion has been fucking us royally, and we're like, where and when do we address that? Because then our black lives don't matter, like our queer black Caribbean life don't matter, right? And then when we're gonna talk about how that impacts and illustrate, sorry, me I stutter all over my word then, but yeah, how that impacts us here in the Caribbean, like the idea of injustice on black fucking bodies, whether they're mixed, where, you know, as I said, sexualism, whether them a fuck the same sex or anybody else, we're queer. I'm just like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's protest about that. That should be protested against every day. So we're just like, address that and see all humans as humans, and see it as human rights, including everyone, not just some, right? And secondly, supporting black minority, LGBTQIA businesses and people as individuals. Like, yeah, if we don't build our economy, and me I talk about support your own kind of economy, we're screwed. And that's just the bottom line of it. Like, if you want to do that, shout out your business them, shout out your friend them, tag them in everything. Stop fucking bringing shit down from foreign or wherever the fuck. And we do understand that sometimes you need the resources and we don't have access to it, so you have to take it. But limit your thing, because we can't fight back against how we exist here, right? We're there, we've accepted or we've absorbed whatever is being passed down to us, and certain things you need. Like, we don't make pens necessarily in Jamaica, but you might have a one man on the road where you can find where make a bamboo pen. I don't know, but it is just to say that this is how we're gonna come out from under white supremacy.
Drop your pride. Drop your pride. We as black people, we need to drop our pride and ask for help and support people. I think that's one of our biggest problems.
And support allies. If you're gonna buy from a white man, make sure say them is an ally. You know, I have white friends. I'm sure we all have white friends. Like, yeah, you stand for something, we need the support. Like, it's not about like color and race at this point. Everybody needs to rally for the fact that shit needs to balance out. And it can't balance out because it's imbalanced for a long time. Like, but the equity of it, just understanding that it's a different fight and it's a different conversation, right? And yeah, so shout out your friend them pan on Instagram and pan anywhere else. I think, yeah, so we kind of curated this bit and I think yeah, I go do the other bits. I want one.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So I'd like to speak on my view, or just literally like what I feel being black in a biased Caribbean Jamaica. To be black in Jamaica, I see queerness, less than I'd like to see. Seeing the oppression bursting at the seams, oozing hypocrisy, blackness in queer. And there is no protesting, no support for transition into wholeness. Aura in blackness, queerness. Transitioned bodies deemed sins. Power objectified, ostracized, semi-black. Coexisting with the queerness in reality, for there is complement to the multiplicity of our blackness, islanded. But we see not the beauty in the surrounding waters, neither do we visualize, and there is neither do we visualize that this water encompasses us, reminding us not to feel trapped, not separated. For waters do not feel, Water do not lock us in like post-trauma. For waters do not feel. For waters do not feel.
Let's not repeat it.
Waters do not lock us in like post-trauma syndromed, enslaved. The fluidity of colored white light lies do not prevent us from traveling higher planes. Water calls us to feel and acknowledge our blackness, not as taught, but as lived, as tasted. For our blackness is valid, blackness valuable, our blackness is queer. And we stand with the brothers and sisters, we stand acknowledging, defying the binary. For in our black, queer stares at you, queer stares in you, through you. Colonial influences were never ours to own. Get new bags to carry, for that one doesn't match your shade.
Asheo.
Yeah, that's lovely. That was so good, thank you. And it's just, it's like, is it enough for us to just get up and march? I think we didn't show up to any of the march because this was just riding through our heads. We didn't know what to expect. Obviously, like, we going out there and standing up and holding a placard in front of the US Embassy or Emancipation Park was just like, it's not enough for us. It's not enough for us because we're just like, yo, a man might see me going to that fucking march and beat me like how them beat Ayana. And it's not to say that it's so detrimental because I'm not trying to push homophobia, but even sometimes it's difficult just to even hear the discrimination and with all the pressure, I'm an empath, and with all the pressure of just seeing everything saturated on the news, it affects me a lot. And me not talk about foreign news alone, me I talk about Jamaican news too. Like, I'm just like the murders and shit, and I'm like, yo, look, I'm overwhelmed at this point, and I have to be firm to be able to withstand some of the verbal just like input. It's just input. I'm just tired of the input, whether that's a fucking positive question because you find that we look interesting and it's like you don't even know how to give a compliment, so you're asking a bunch of questions. Just understanding that our representation comes with our bravery, being able to stand there in our fears and get all of this input every day is a lot, right? And so not going out there because we're like, yeah, but we need to do something bigger than marching. We need to call our businesses, we need to call up on our community, we need to find the people who need support in a real fucking way. So we're gonna put some of that link below. Like, there is Black Caribbean businesses that are just important and queer people who are doing shit that need support, and only need to support them. Like, low key, go follow them on Instagram, as me say, buy them products, do whatever you need to goddamn do. Like, right here, right now. Stop, go shop in a Loshushan or wherever you go shopping that door, and you not pick up Jamaican made products, and you not pick up, it's just like, just be mindful, because I'm not going to sit down here and pretend like me not eat couscous and quinoa and them not make care, right? But there's a level to which we bring awareness to certain things. Also, whilst you're doing that, make sure say even on a balance out the thing. Like, buy from Black people too, right? So yeah, Hoji them want shout out some people. Mega shout out Connect JA. Mega shout out Transwave Jamaica. Mega shout out. Yeah, we're gonna just put some link down below, don't it?
Shout out to Cosmic Creates, Crystal Company. Shout out to Cosmic.
Mega say most of them be there for my, well, some of them be there for my and make by Moon, so shout out to Moon.
Alright, Moon.
Yeah. So yeah, you've just seen.
Shout out to Zanelli holding it down with all them beautiful, empowering images.
South
Black
Africa.
folks.
What, it's just like, I mean, obviously we're shouting out the top of our head list, but obviously there's just so much, and the list is so long. Yeah, shout out to 360 artists. We're always there. Always there.
360.
Always there. We'll see you. There's just a lot, and then there's also so many women's movements as well in Jamaica that we definitely need to just preview you guys to. And obviously, if you're not following our Instagram page, because most of this information we're gonna start posting on our Instagram, so you'll be able to see and find people. Sorry if this is long, but it was necessary, is necessary, and fucking urgent. We love you. You've just seen Pillow Talk. Bye.
Thank you.
Black lives do matter, and trans lives matter as well.